Out with the old night light, in with the new night light, but not so fast. The old night light works way better than the new night light. The old night light had a larger area of light that it lit up at night. So new is not always better. So how important is maintenance? After the last severe hurricane that we had a couple of years ago, this night light pole and another night light pole back there had been leaning and leaning and leaning. We called and made a report of it, and they took note of it. And then here we are a couple of years later. This night light, which is the pole, I should say the pole, not the night light. The night light was on that pole. Finally turned over and leaned over. We had a bunch of wind and a bunch of rain. Finally blew completely over on top of the fence. And then the line that you see right there was on top of the little pump shed. That would have been lovely if that was all that would have happened, that they need to bring out a new pole. But no, that's not all that happened. So it actually pulled over the pole from the electrical box from that was inside the house. So today we got it replaced and a new weatherhead, and they had to do just a little bit of work up there where it had pulled over off the roof just a little bit, but you had to have an electrician that was certified to come out to replace the weatherhead and make sure all the wires were still intact. And as you can see, it's still not connected back to the power yet. And this was the little pump shed that it had fell over on top of. Luckily, nothing caused any problems or caught fire, nothing like that. And they were able to disconnect the old night light and stand the wire back up with the new pole without cutting off the electricity. However, they had to cut off the electricity and schedule an outing, a power out, so that the electricians could work on the power and replace the weatherhead on the utility box on the big house. It took them about 2.5 hours. They called them at about 2.5 hours when they were about half an hour or so away from getting finished with the job, so that they would be sure to be out here to hook the power back up. I wonder if you're thinking what I'm thinking. How did that go? Well, still here waiting. The electrician that did the job called them at 1:30, said they'll be right out. And then the electrician got finished up and left. And I called him back. He said if the lights wasn't back on, to give him a call. He called them back at 2:30. Still have not seen the power company to turn the lights back on. So, as I'm calling the power company, the electrician that done the job texts me and says, "Hey, are the lights back on?" And I say, "No, unfortunately. I'm on the phone with them right now." So the light company is going back to see who took that first call and who was dispatched at 1:30 to come back up here to have the lights reconnected around 2. And now it's been 3 hours since then. Power's been off for close to 6 hours now. And it's just ridiculous because this was a scheduled disconnect to do the work that the storm wind damage caused. So it wasn't like they didn't know about it. They came and disconnected it, said they'd be happy to come right back and reconnect it. Well, here we are, still sitting here waiting. So, some things, no matter how much you plan for, things just happen. And when your light pole blows over in the wind and disconnects your power or takes your power box off of your house because the pole just fell over and broke, because the light company would not come out and replace the pole to prevent it from happening. You can see the one way in the back there. You might can tell that it's kind of leaning in comparison to that one because all the wind came from back behind it. But I guess whenever it falls down, then they'll do something about it. But regardless of it costing us a small fortune that was unplanned, now we had to sit here and wait for them to come back and hook the power back up. So, that's how life is. There are lots of things in life that just, you don't know what's going to happen. You have no way of knowing what's coming right down the road. Even though we are prepared and we prepare for everything, this is just one of those things that if you don't have a little cushion, a little money in the bank, when something like this comes up, you could find yourself in trouble. But luckily, I've always had a little cushion, so we were able to pay the electrician, and now we will deal with the light company and the insurance company to hopefully get reimbursed for having to fix this because the light pole fell over. So just thought I'd share that with y'all. There's always something happening, always something going on. I guess that's how you know you're still alive. So I hope everyone's doing good. I'll chat with y'all later. Farewell, Homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.